I like the fact that everyone there is interested in films, and you can say something quite serious to something, they don't laugh at you. You know what I mean? You feel that if everyone's interested in, there's a kind of natural, it's like a little, you know.
But I think the community needs to be more supportive of each other. And it's boring when it becomes someone's little fiefdom, you know. I don't think that's what it's about. And I don't think that's what documentary is about, or documentary filmmakers are about. I mean, I've always been amazed. The difference for me between the feature film industry and documentaries is that I think documentary filmmakers are much more supportive of each other, and it's not so cutthroat. You know, maybe it's a little cutthroat, but I think that it's much more about an attitude to a world, to understanding the world. I think that's what makes it powerful, if it's an understanding of a world, or it's a way of looking at reality. And then I think it's really exciting. I would say just don't always wait for the money before you make the film, because it's so cheap to shoot stuff now, and you know, just go out and make the film and cut it, and you'll kind of at least learn whether you really want to be a filmmaker in that process. But don't sort of wait for some commissioning editor to make a decision they want to. Also, you don't want someone else being in control of your life, I think. No.
I wanted to be a writer. I always thought I was going to be a writer, because all my childhood I lived in books. And then I went to university and realised I wasn't really going to be a writer, because it was too lonely, really. I think it's quite a solitary thing. And I'd had a very solitary childhood, and I wanted to be doing things with people. So that was why I decided, and I wanted to tell stories.
I think I was just curious, a curious person, and I found, having a stills camera originally, that you could, you know, talk to people and find out about things, and so film just came out of that, I think.
It was Nick that it was always his films. Sort of every time he made, I think, oh, that's brilliant. That's what I want to do. So, and then my absolute favourite was Soldier Girls. I completely loved it. Yeah.
Whose films did I really like Charlie Chaplin, actually. I suppose I became, as much as I could in my limited, humorous way, Charlie Chaplin later on. Unfortunately, the world encourages you to always take the safe option, you know, to always take something you know will work. But often it's the ideas, kind of, Fred Wiseman always says, it's the ideas on the outside of your brain that are the most interesting ones to take, and obviously, you know, often takes to the most interesting places. That's what I like about Kim's work, is, you know, it's very unexpected, and I think she's been to such unexpected places.
And Kim, how do you find your way into those worlds? Because, I mean, they are so removed, you know, Divorce Iranian Style, for instance. I mean, you know, are you just, you know, in London and then you suddenly struck with an idea, I'll go over and explore that? Or?
Well, that was, yeah, I mean, that came out of, I don't know if you remember the whole Salman Rushdie thing, and Muslims starting to be seen as fanatics, and that whole rather nasty edge to it. And people were making documentaries, but they were really current affairs films in Iran, which were these really sort of, with a voiceover, and then they would have people in the streets demonstrating, and they were nasty film. I mean, in a way, I defend them making them, because they were trying to understand, and they were, you know, being critical, and they were allowed to do that. But they didn't have a humanity to them. I think you've got to be really, you know, and occasionally you'd have a woman saying, oh, I don't want to wear the veil, and that's all they said, you know, something, you know, I want to wear makeup. And so I'd wanted to do it for a long time, and I met Ziba Mir Hosseini. I met her at SOAS at a party, and we really got on. We sort of made friends almost straight away, and she told me about this book she'd written about, called Marriage on Trial, about the divorce courts. And we sort of did it, that's how it started.
think it was wanting to use real people who are non-actors. You know, like in Ghosts, I used Chinese illegal immigrants and their stories, and in Battle for Hadith, I used Iraqi refugees and ex-Marines. And I thought I could probably, or maybe, reach a different audience. I don't know if I was altogether right on that. And also, I just wanted to try and tell a story in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think filmmaking is all about storytelling. And after a while, you just I think you get tired. And you need to try a different format, and you need to take other, it's just as simple as that, I think.
I feel I'm just getting the hang of it. And the last couple of films, I'm just kind of getting the hang of how to tell a story kind of seamlessly. That's what I'm trying to do. So it's like, the experience of watching it is like the experience of watching a fiction film. But none of it's fiction, none of it's been set up, obviously. Yeah. But the experience is you're just going through a story and you're in it, as the audience. You're where I am, and you're just going through this story. And I'm getting I'm learning how to do that better. I'm feeling a little bit more confident about how to do it. It's taken one, and in the last couple I thought, I'm learning a bit more how to do this. I'm shooting slightly differently to make it easier for Ollie to edit, and making the scenes nicer and smoother, and the shots better to edit. And I'm learning a lot through working with an editor that I really trust.
I mean, I think what documentary has, which is incredible, and which no other form has, is this sort of thing of real time, which is you can show how things happen as they actually happen. Particularly,
That's
so you don't want to cut
it,
too much.
That's lovely when it works.
Because that's the most interesting thing. That's how I think you learn most about people, is their rhythm and how long it takes for them to make a decision or for things to happen, for moods to move. And you can actually see moods move in real time on film. And I don't think I think
that's
no
what
other form has it.
To do.
Yeah.
That's what it's trying to do all the time. And that's what I like about, like what Nick's doing now. Because in a lot of fiction film, when you talk to actors, they say, oh God, you had to do the scenes back to front, you didn't get a sense of story, you have all these takes, the way that very stiff way of working, it's very hard to get that rhythm going. But then I remember when watching Ghosts, you really did feel that people were reenacting something that they'd experienced. So it is different. I mean, I think it was quite interesting what you're trying to do.
Yeah, it's very much, shooting in long takes and letting people get into their emotions more, and not sort of stopping them saying, okay, well now we're going to do a reverse, and